Trying to make a splash with their policies this election, the parties in Lothian East have been jumping over backwards to win over voters. But some think the campaign so far has been a bit of a flop.
It's about getting the economy going, because none of the politicians seem to know how to run the economy, because Britain at the moment, we're not exporting enough, we've got no manufacturing. We just don't seem to be able to understand that.
I'm worried about the cost of living, because I think as a pensioner living on pensions, I am concerned about how the future will pan out.
This is the first election to be contested here since the boundary was redrawn. This constituency now no longer contains most of Musselburgh. But what makes it interesting here is just how much of a very marginal seat this is, and that's making it a top target for Labour.
Hoping there'll be a response to their campaign, a familiar face is seeking another chance at government. A former cabinet minister and veteran of the last Labour administration.
How does it feel to be dubbed the comeback kid? Is that a name you're embracing?
Well, let's wait and see the judgment that people here in East Lothian reach on the 4th of July. I'm taking nothing for granted. I'm thoroughly enjoying the campaign. We've got to make the case that politics can actually make people's lives better. The road to Downing Street runs through a constituency like this. It's simply arithmetic. The more Labour MPs we get, the more likely it is that we'll have more Labour MPs than Conservative MPs.
The SNP won this seat in 2019, but their MP defected to Alba. Now, the party's latest candidate plans to use her local connections to her strength.
Rural poverty is a significant issue in East Lothian. Fuel poverty in particular, massive. There's a very clear proposition for the voters in Lothian East. Do they want someone who, kudos to Douglas, he has got a lot of experience on a global platform. Do they want someone to do that, or do they want someone to fight the cause for their local community?
Working for years with care-experienced young people in the local area and across Scotland, the Lib Dem candidate wants to bring that empathy to politics.
I look what I did for children in the care system. I've really enabled and listened to the pain and suffering of a community that has had the worst outcomes in our society for generations, and enabled them to find their unified and collective voice as a care experienced community. We're also an agrarian and fishing community as well. You look at the consequence of Europe. Nobody's talking about Europe. We used to sell langoustine in 24 hours. It would be fished and landed in Dunbar Harbour, and it'd be in the plate within France within 24 hours. Now the bureaucracy in that makes that almost impossible.
The impact of Brexit mightn't have some voters jumping for joy, but the Tory candidate believes there's more that can be done to support the local economy and businesses.
Whilst I know there is criticism out there, it was the Conservatives that brought in all the COVID support grants, that brought in furlough, which saved the economy effectively. There's so many businesses I've spoken on, particularly in the high street, small traders, which if they didn't have had the COVID grants or the furlough scheme, they simply wouldn't be in business.
While it's all calm on the surface, parties in this constituency are working furiously underneath it all as the campaign enters its final days. Vanessa Taaffe, STV News in Lothian East.